and as a longtime fan of the Terminator franchise, I must say that my experiences with these films have been as tumultuous as the time-traveling narrative they so lovingly abuse. The latest installment, Terminator Genisys, left me feeling more confused than ever before. Left me that I have no idea. The fact is a story of treatment that carries their safe. In the world of Netflix, an anime TV series titled Terminator Zero has taken a more captivating turn on the malicious John Connor storyline from Terminator Genisys, 7 years after its introduction. Created by Mattson Tomlin, known for The Batman, and directed by animator Masashi Kudo, famous for his work on Bleach. This sci-fi action anime series adds a fresh perspective to the established themes within the Terminator franchise. What makes it even more enticing is that the characters in Terminator Zero are entirely new, which effectively breathes life into a franchise that might otherwise rely on reusing characters like John and Sarah Connor, as well as recurring plot lines. In contrast to the innovative direction taken in the Terminator Zero novel, the movie Terminator Genisys aimed for a more traditional reboot of the familiar tale. Characters like John Connor, Sarah Connor, Kyle Reese, and Arnold Schwarzenegger's T-800 are central to this film. Similar to the 1984 original, Sarah and Kyle are fated to become opposite parents. However, in the altered Terminator Genisys timeline, created by Skynet, Sarah has been brought up by Schwarzenegger's reprogrammed Terminator. This is just one of several plot twists that raise eyebrows. Instead of introducing a young Sarah Connor with her Terminator nickname Pox, the major twist in Genisys involves a villainous John Connor. This revelation isn't nearly as effective as a surprising twist in Terminator Zero, which features Kenta, played by Armani Jackson. In the 2029 timeline of Genisys, Skynet attacks John, converting him into a T-3000 Terminator to infection with nanomachines. As a cyborg at his core, this evil John Connor is instrumental in creating Skynet, which is known as Genisys in the movie's 2017 timeline. On the other hand, Terminator Zero presents a more fulfilling take on such a narrative by introducing Kenta Lee. In the series Terminator Zero, a scientist named Malcolm Lee develops an artificial intelligence called Kokoro, distinct from Skynet. Unlike Skynet, Kokoro is given free will, trait that Malcolm believes will steer his creation towards different arts, and whether humanity should be allowed to endure. Interestingly, Malcolm's eldest son, Kenta, harbors a keen interest in machinery, although he holds them in contempt as well. It is later unveiled that Malcolm was sent back from the future to avert Judgment Day with Kokoro's assistance. According to Malcolm, it's only a machine, specifically the one portrayed by Timothy Oliphant in the series, that could potentially break the destructive loop of human-machine conflict. This view is not widely accepted, especially following an incident where Masaki Sumali Montano, a former family housekeeper who turned out to be a cyborg, killed a battalion of resistance soldiers to protect Malcolm. Kenta, initially reluctant to trust Masaki due to his dislike for machines, grows even more hostile towards them when Malcolm prioritizes the safety of Kokoro over Kenta's life. The show then reveals that the Terminator was sent back in time by a future version of Kenta with the intention of destroying Kokoro. In my perspective, the most significant problem I find with the plot twist of Terminator Genisys is that it makes an already convoluted timeline even more complex. The time travel mechanics in the original Terminator are perplexing enough, but Genisys takes it to another level by having characters traveling through time multiple times. When Kyle Reese goes back to the 80s to shield Sarah Connor from the Terminator, he's flooded with memories of a life he didn't live, which implies that Skynet has tampered with the timeline that we're familiar with by causing a temporal paradox. This confusing alteration is evident in the plot twist, where Skynet turns John Connor, our last hope, into a cyborg who aids Skynet in initiating its war. I think that in Terminator Genisys, Kyle, Sarah, and Pop's journey back to 1997 only to discover that Judgment Day is now set for 2017. This unexpected change is due to the malevolent John Connor's role in creating Genisys, a new version of Skynet. In this movie, John Connor clandestinely enters Cyberdyne Systems to activate Genisys, leading to a confrontation with cops. The film Terminator 2: Judgment Day cleverly switches roles by making the Terminator more of a father figure to John Connor. However, in its ambition to introduce another surprising twist, Terminator Genisys prioritizes shock value over narrative coherence, which ultimately weakens both the twist and the film as a whole. And while the core themes persist, what sets Terminator Zero apart is its focus on fresh characters, demonstrating that the series can thrive beyond John and Sarah Connor. Compared to Dark Fate, Netflix's Terminator anime has emerged as the most impressive franchise installment in years. Although both shows have equal amounts of time travel and intricate timeline tangles like Genisys, Zero stands out for its deliberate and thoughtful approach to multiple storylines. One instance where Terminator Zero reinvents the human versus machine narrative is through the complex dynamic between Malcolm and Kenta, offering a chilling new twist on this familiar tale. I'm a sorrel. What is the creature in Pedon? I guess honor.